what kind of ministry? What does it mean to minister? What is Dan as a minister?
Well, for me at that point, like I was abundantly clear that I was going to do youth ministry my entire life, right? I thought I had everything all figured out. I was going to do youth ministry in a church, then I was going to do some camp ministry, be the director of a camp, then I was going to do some, youth ministry for a denomination. I had it all mapped out. I was pretty good. But over time, God has adjusted my plans. And, I served as a youth pastor for a while and then started serving as a pastor. So, yeah.
How has God adjusted your plan, your vision? How has He done that?
By providing opportunity, and in the midst of the opportunity, just exposing me exposing me to opportunity and allowing me to see giftedness, and helping me to see what could be, and
Vision.
vision, opportunity. The first church that I served as a youth pastor, I was there for 5 or 6 years, and while I was there, the senior pastor left. He and I had a fantastic relationship. He was one of the most well-defined, very secure in who he was, people that I've ever met. And he would look at things that were going on in the life of the church, and even if they were things that the senior pastor normally did, if my skill set better fit that role, he would look and he'd go, Dan, you ought to do this. I don't need to do this. And he provided me opportunities to do things that the vast majority of senior pastors would never have allowed me to do.
Wow.
And then when he left, the church asked, well, would you preach every Sunday? Would you pick up these other responsibilities? And so I did for about 6-8 months. And during that time, I found, you know what? I kind of like this. I kind of enjoy this. This is exciting. And beyond exciting, I'm actually pretty good at it. And I can help provide vision on a bigger scale, and provide direction on a bigger scale. And and so I started looking for a church that I could serve as pastor.
And how did going from, where was that, New York?
Yeah, it was New York, upstate New York, Cortland, New York, yeah.
To where?
Springfield, Massachusetts.
And how did that transition occur? How did that come about? You started looking for other opportunities. You're part of the denomination.
Yeah, I was a part of the American Baptist churches, and so I just started. I put my name out there and started looking around for different opportunities, and and they hired some young guy, who had only been a youth pastor to be their pastor, which was a neat thing. And the neat thing about Church in the Acres, on their profile, so the church has a profile, and they, one of the things that they put on their profile is that they weren't sure that they were doing the right things. And I thought that's interesting, right? Why would you put that, right? And so first time I sat down with them, I said, what does that mean to you? And and they and they all went around the room, and they just said, well, look, everything that we do well, but we're not convinced that we're doing the will of God, that we're doing the
Wow.
right things.
Wow.
And they just, and I got to one of the people and I said, explain this to me in your words. And right away she goes, people told us that no pastor would talk to us, if we put this on there. And I just started laughing. I go, look, I'm gonna tell you the only reason I'm talking to you is because this is on here, because this kind of excites me.
Yeah.
That you're willing to put on your application that you're not sure you're doing the right things, you're not sure you're doing the will of God. I'm like, that's like, who says that as a church, right? And so we entered into 8 years of trying to figure out what is the will of God for this church, and it was some of the most exciting years of ministry ever.